Each gives us a full view of all the different icons there, and we're going to go V for first person view. And then, okay, so we've also got enemies just floating about. Apparently that's not turned off. But we are going to ignore them and just go through all the basic bits and pieces so that I get a refresher, even though I don't particularly need it for this part of it. But B, it also shows you guys a little bit, if you're new to the game, how the game is played and so on.
It's all about humanity.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Space Engineers. I'm your host, 2005 Guy of Road 2. Okay, so what I'm going to do today is something completely different, and that's go through the starting of Space Engineers. Basically, I tried playing Space Engineers with the cranky old coot, aka Moby Dave, and things didn't quite go so well because
Click on the bell. No notification.
okay.
We've been at this for an hour. We haven't even left our pod.
Ooh. I got hit by lightning. Bye bye.
Really?
I thought he went through the tutorial missions, and something tells me that he didn't. Basically, he kept complaining, saying that there's too many controls, too many controls, too many controls. And what I always recommend is that everyone goes into the controls first, so into options and then control setup. So if we go into controls, and basically go for, let's say, movement controls first, and then basically configure it to the keys that you prefer. So for myself, I don't bother with the rotation keys because I've got the mouse for that. But when it comes to forward, backwards, strafing left and right, when it comes to this game and Empyrion, I always make sure that it's the arrow keys, because otherwise the keys are too close together, and the down button cannot be the control button because the control button is hard-coded for something completely different. So that's why I moved the normal movement keys to the arrow keys, because then I can use the number 0 for crouch, and then for jump I've got the mouse thumb buttons. It's still got space as default, but I only use the thumb buttons on the 5-button mouse. So I always recommend going to the control setup first and basically putting the controls to controls that you are most comfortable with. So there are a hell of a lot of controls on Space Engineers, I will admit that. But the really good thing is you don't need to use all of them. You only have to have a slight select few and then customize them the way that you want them. Now that said, I might have to change either the home button, the end button, and swap them around with the page up and page down button, because I always get confused with those when I'm rotating blocks. But that said, we are going to start up a new game. We are going to do Learning to Survive, and we're basically going to just do the basics of it. I won't go too far into it because we will probably be doing it for about 8 hours straight if I did it properly. So we are just going to go straight through it, or at least a partial way through it. And basically this scenario basically teaches you how to play the game. And I really wish that Cranky played this scenario before saying yes, he's ready to join, or before he actually joined in. Because this one actually gives you a full rundown on what you can do in the game. Everything from the keys, everything to going into space, Basically, we start in space in this one, and then we've got the option to go to the planet later on. If we do everything right and not enter into the gravity field of the planet and manage to destroy what's on that planet without going into the gravity, we get a special achievement. Now, I have yet to accomplish that achievement because I have yet to figure out how I'm going to do that. But we can at least do the first couple of bits. So if you check in the orange writing, if I hit tab, at least, is it, no, H, I think. There we go. H gives us a full view of all the different icons there, and we're going to go V for first person view. And then, okay, so we've also got enemies just floating about. Apparently that's not turned off. But we are going to ignore them and just go through all the basic bits and pieces so that I get a refresher, even though I don't particularly need it for this part of it. But B, it also shows you guys a little bit, if you're new to the game, how the game is played and so on. So let's start with the first one, which is the survival kit. Now, what you'll see on my side is that if it comes up saying use this key, use that key, it will be completely different because like I said, my key bindings are completely different because I changed those. So we're going to hit the run button, and we just took a hit on power and health. So now in the top left corner, the good bot is telling us what we have to do. If I can find a grey spot, there we go. So we have to aim towards the console and hit, well, for me it will be enter, for you guys it will be the F key. So just aim for that, highlight it, and then you guys it will be F key, my key is the return key. It says enter, but it's actually the return key. There we go. So now we have to attach the H2 generator so that we can get some oxygen and hydrogen as well. We've got a mining option down there. We've got a ship option down here, which we'll be doing after these ones. So first one's first, let's do the power one. So solar panel's damaged. So we have to repair it. So we have to use the welder, number one, and just left click on it, and it says that we need 2 solar cells. But if we go basically view it with our welder, we can see that we need 4 glass, 4 construction components, 32 solar panels, 4 computer components, 12 grids, and 2 additional construction components, so 6 total. So what we need to do is we need to go to that box that's highlighted. We have to go into that box. For you guys, it will be the F key. For me, it's the return key. And then we select, I think it's Control Left. Yeah, Control Left for 10. I think we needed 12 of those, so let's do 20. We needed, I think it was a couple of those. Let's do 20. We need 32 of those, so let's put 40 on our inventory. We do have to watch out with volume. And of course, in this game, I think the volume makes sense because you've got components. In Empyrion, it does not make any sense for me. Did we need any grids? I don't think we need grids for panels, but I could be wrong. So let's go back to the solar panel. Oops. There we go. It's just a glass, but we don't really have to do that. So long as it's past the first 2 lines, the green one, sorry, the blue one and the red one, then it's fully functional. Anything above that, then it's basically more hit points, basically. Okay, so next one. Let's go for the mining one, and then we can go for the hydrogen after that. Our oxygen supply's not that bad yet. Oop, I just went down too far. So let's hit number 1. You can find ore inside asteroids and planets. Equip your drill to the HUD markers that show you nearby locations of ore. So basically number 3 for the drill, and it's showing us iron ore, gold, and ice. Well, we're going to need ice for the oxygen and hydrogen, so let's grab those. Now what you'll see is that there's no automatic ore pickup, and we have to pick those all up individually. So again, for you guys it's F, for myself it's enter or return. Let's get a little bit more. Now you can also right click, so if we turn the light on, is there a section where that I can, yeah, so this section is just rock, okay? So if we just right click here, it digs out a spot, but it doesn't give us any resources. And that works out quite handy if you want to dig through dirt just to get to the rock on the planet. Or if you want to dig out something really quickly. There we go. We've got full inventory, as the young lady just said to us. Now we've got the option to either stick it in the cargo container, or just stick it straight into the oxygen generator. We are going to just stick it straight into the oxygen generator, and we can put the rest of the junk in here. So the way I transferred all of it in one hit is to hold Ctrl and Shift down at the same time, and then click on everything with the left mouse button. Okay, so we need to repair this one over here. So to do that one, we click on, oh wait a minute, did we not finish it? Oh, it wanted us to grab iron ore. Okay, so let's grab some iron ore. Sorry, I didn't fully read it properly. There we go. Does it say which one to dump it in? Not really. Let's dump it in this one. There we go. So we don't have anything active now, so let's click on that one. To replenish oxygen and hydrogen, at the survival kit you need to repair the power a working conveyor connection between the H2O2 generator as well as the survival kit and ice in the H2O2 generator. And then basically we replenish afterwards. So let's get the welding tool out and see what we need. We need 4 interior plate, 6 motors, and 3 small steel tubes. Okay, so let's do that one, that one. What was the other one? Construction components, I think. Let's have a look. No, motors. Okay, so that's now fixed. And then once again, just highlight it and hit F. So basically, if we have any oxygen bottles or hydrogen tanks, it's basically recommending that we put it in here. As you can see, there's 1 oxygen bottle and 1 hydrogen bottle right there. that will come in handy for when we're out and about. So we've got a task for ship mining over there. We've got the ship task over here, and we've got a ship tools facility over there. And there will probably be a lot more out. There's also an unknown signal out there. So let's head off into that direction. If I can remember what the dampener key is said. So we're going to go to that signal, see if we can get any goodies out of it. I hit the wrong button. Let's get the grinding tool out because it's also got, it's usually made out of the nice goodies as well. Okay, so let's push the button, see what we've got. If anything. Oh, you've got a helmet. Nice. I'll sell that for a penny later on. So basically what I'm doing at the moment is grinding it down for resources. We can also see what it's got inside of that cargo container. So it's got a couple med kits and a couple steel plate. So that always comes in quite handy. Now some might be wondering why I'm doing all this before carrying on with the actual tasks, and that's because we need some resources for later on, and it's best to grab these before they explode, and that normally has canvas in it. There we go, and we need to go back to crap, where is it? That's a construction platform, so that's not the one that we need yet. Ship. Okay, so Z for dampen this off. Now we don't want to slam into the asteroid, otherwise we will die. I like to try and keep it to 0 deaths if possible. So Z has turned the dampness back on. I've rotated it upside down. Let's get it right side up again. There we go. So the sun is moving on this and it's going pretty damn fast. So we might want to stick up a couple additional solar panels on this area so that we've got it as a staging area. And also maybe even boost the beacon up ever so slightly. So to boost the beacon we have to hit either the T or K button, or just hit F on that little panel there. So hitting F brings up this one here. So if we look for the beacon, there we go, it says it's called platform. It's currently set for the maximum, which is 50 kilometers. So we should be able to see this beacon from quite some distance. But just in case it runs out of power, or we wind up complete out of range, all we can do is hit K, go to GPS, and then do new from current position. And then up here we rename it to, if I can remember how to spell platform. And there we go. And then just click off it anywhere and it comes up with platform. Because it's blue, it basically shows us the position where we marked it. If we get too many of these up at one point, bearing in mind I'm going to put down to each one so that we map where we have been and where we haven't, so that we know where to go for if we see something else. So if we go back to K, go to GPS, platform, we can also do tick that box that says show on HUD, and it's not there anymore. So if we get too many, we can turn them off and still keep them as well, without having to delete them. So if we go back there, turn it on to show HUD. We can also do always visible, so it doesn't matter where how far away we go, but so that we can always see it. So let's see what other components we've got in here. Let's drop all this stuff in here temporarily. I might want to keep the medkits on us. Okay, so what we can also do, let's quickly refill our energy. Sorry. Early mornings, and I haven't slept through the evening yet, so my throat is a bit itchy. What you can also do, of course, is go to your inventory key. I can't remember if it was tab or if it was I initially, but if we highlight the main console, hit the inventory key, it comes up with the inventory of the device that you're looking at, as well as your own inventory. So we've got some stone in that storage container over there. So what we can do is we can either move the stone up along with the I know, of course, that the survival constructor can only do it with stone. But what you can do is go to production. We'll get this later on down the line, I'm pretty sure. And basically make all these. That converts all the stone into gravel and ingots. And then from this, we can make all the other components that we need later on. We're going to need a boatload of those. It won't give us 1,000 out of that tiny piece of stone, but at least it's a little bit. So let's go for ship mining first. So X for the jetpack, or in my case it's the thumb button. And then we have to try and find the entrance, which is upside down. Okay, so we've got the option of docking ships to the connector. Well, later on maybe. Looks like the doors are broken because there's a gap there. So basically to open up the doors, just go up to the door and hit F on it. Oh, and we have some power cells, some steel plates, and we've run out of room. So yes, room is a problem. Actually, let's put those back in there for a moment until we know which one we're going to need. So task, let's go for task 1. So it needs some power to make it work. Also, it needs a couple of components to prepare a thruster and various other bits and pieces. Looks like there's some sparks going on somewhere. So that needs some power cells, computers, small components. That needs a thruster component. I wonder what's sparking. Something underneath. Okay, so let's get some components out of here. So that's 1. 2. Okay, so does this have any thruster components in it? No. Okay, so we're running on 3 forward thrust, a couple side thrust, a couple up and down thrust, and 2 reverse thrust by the look of it. No, 3 reverse thrust, so that should be fine. Okay, so now we have to enter the cockpit. So once again, for me it's return. For you guys, it will be the F key. Although before we go in there, let's quickly drop off anything that we've got extra currently on us. Oh, yes, of course. Let's go for a storage chest, which is empty. Oh, it says hide empty. Storage container. Let's move these in there. Because the more components, the better off we'll be later on. Oh, that's a basic assembler. Unfortunately, we don't have the components needed to fix that. Now we could just take apart the doors, but it wants us to just plow straight through the stone wall. So let's do that. So we have to go up, and it seems that we are docked, I think. So this is what you must not do. Oh no, wait a minute. Sorry, that's the power. So what you don't really want to do in game usually is hit P, especially if you're docked somewhere, because it will undock it. But if we do P again at the moment, we can now lift off because it undoes the landing gear. Unfortunately, landing gear and connectors are all on the same button. Okay, so we've got some iron over here. Some iron over there. What else is around? Oh, we can't go in third person at the moment. Okay. So number 1 is selected. So let's go up to it and away we go. Now, definitely want to do this piece slowly, because if you do it slowly, then you can get the most resources. You can also hit right click, just like with the manual drill, and it will dig through it without collecting any of the resources. So let's grab a little bit more of this. I don't know if we're actually already completely full. Let's have a little look. Apparently we're not completely full yet. The cargo containers are mostly full. But it looks like we can do with a little bit more. So if I grab the down here, if I go back to the main screen, you'll be able to see our kilos in weight. So it's currently 25,224 kilos. Once that stops, that means that we've run out of room in the ship. And unfortunately, weight does matter a little bit. Well, it looks like there's some nickel in that direction. Okay, let's quickly check, and looks like we are actually quite full, except for the drills. So we still have some space in the drills. Thank goodness. Let's do right click. And as soon as we see the ore, then we'll go back to left click. The other thing to take note of is basically the amount of fuel that we have. That's currently set for 7 days until we put the drills on, which fluctuates between 2 and 4 days. And when we thrust forward, it's when we thrust forward, it's 2 hours, I think. Okay, so I think we're starting to see some yellow for the nickel. Not completely sure. Still have a little bit of room, thankfully. There we go, there's the nickel, the goldy colour stuff. Something tells me we're complete full now. No, not quite yet. Strange it's taking us very long to get through that. Well, let's go backwards. I don't know if we can go yet third person view. Okay. I don't remember nickel being that hard to get through. So let's oh, there's some silicon around here as well. Nice. I didn't do the GPS on it. Screw it. Okay, so let's hit the right mouse button and just keep going through it. There we go, almost to freedom. There we go, and we're free. Okay, so there's no more ores there, so you've got 2 sets of iron, 1 nickel, and 1 silicon. Let's take this one back there, and then we can probably go after that unknown signal later. Ooh, probably don't want to turn that off, actually. So let's go to the task ship, and we can mount this small vessel onto the big ship over there. Big ship. Big-ish ship. Okay, looks like we're upside down again. Let's go first person so we can see what we're doing. Okay, so we overshot it ever so slightly. So a couple additional thrusters would be quite nice. It could be just because we're a little bit overweight. Okay, so let's set it down over here. With the Alt key, you can also adjust the view. So hold it down, and then basically look in whichever direction that you want it. Unhold it, or take your hand away from the key, and then it basically stays in one piece again, or one location. Okay, so let's set it down over here. Hit P to lock, Y to switch off. Now there's only one massive problem with switching off a ship, and that is if you go at 500 meters away from it when it's switched off, it will disappear. Unless a certain something is switched off, and I'm not sure how yet. So let's go first person view. So what we might have to do is modify this main ship for a little while. Oops. i.e. we need to put some solar panels on it so that it recharges the battery. So at the moment I think it is using a fair bit of power. It's also got a rifle in here, which is nice. That basically teaches about locking and unlocking the landing gear and ship as well. Let's see. Ideally, I'd like to have that underneath the ship, but I don't really want to completely deconstruct the entire thing. Okay, so let's grab a couple of these. That was using the shift left click. I don't think we're going to be able to go to that one because if I leave that ship off and we go over there, our mining ship will disappear on us. So let's do this modification first. So there's the battery, there's a thruster there. We've got 2 reverse thrusters with 3 forward thrusters. So that's not really a great ratio. Ideally, you'd want to have them matching exactly. Because at the moment, if you go full thrust forward, then it will take you twice as long, or almost twice as long, to slow down. And same with the up and down thrust. It looks like they're off slightly. So you've got 2 2 up thrust, and only 1 down thrust. So this is why I tend to modify the ship. We're going to have to forego that signal for a little while. So let's quickly drop off what we've got again, because we might as well do that unlocking of the ship first. Albeit, I think what I'll do is I will switch that back on, unlock. Well, actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something slightly different. Let's go into K, try and find the landing gear, go to groups, type in LG, save. So that's basically grouped the landing gear into one little group, which is up here. We now go to G, look for groups, landing gear, put that on 9, do switch lock. So it's currently unlocked. Okay. And then go on to the ship over here. Might want to do third person view and zoom in a little bit. So zooming in is basically the same as last time. We use the Alt and then we use the scroll wheel mouse on the the scroll wheel on the mouse to zoom in and out. The other thing that we have to watch out is the thrusters can damage anything that it's basically thrusting on. So like these blocks which I'm about to land the small vessel on. Okay, so it's ready to lock. Hit 9. It's locked. We can't zoom in when it's in this stage. So let's go first person view. Oh, let's also switch the... ideally we'd want to switch the thrusters off, but let's turn the dampeners off instead. That way, if we move this big ship, the thrusters don't fight, the small ship thrusters don't fight the movement of the big ship. Okay, so let's exit the ship. Actually, I think I will do that. So let's go back in there. Oh, wrong one. Let's go control panel. Look for thruster. So I can lock on and off. There you go. So the thrusters are now off, so we don't have to worry about that, and we don't have to worry about it using fuel or battery power in that case. Okay, so the unknown signal has blown itself up, and looking at the time, I'm afraid I'm going to have to call the episode there for the moment, and we can continue again later on. But I do need to get some sleep first, so I'm going to have to leave the episode there for the moment. So if you've liked what you've seen so far, please leave a like. If you didn't, please let me know why. Also, if you're not subscribed already, please hit the subscribe button to help the channel grow. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.